Hey, greetings, friends, and welcome to Trenton 365. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You can find me on most social media platforms under the hashtag Trenton and the numbers 365. You can also find the website, my name, Jacque-Howard.com. Today is one of those fun times because I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have this cool conversation with young men that were former interns, are interns, mentors. I don't really like the terminology, so to speak, but these are two young men that are doing some awesome things. I got Vont and I've got Tyler Gentry, and both of these guys they're like sons and nephews and brothers and all these wonderful things wrapped up. Vont and Tyler, let's unmute yourselves, and then I want you to not introduce yourselves as who you are right now. Vont, you go first.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I am Vont Leak. I'm media mogul in the making. That's my little thing. Media mogul in the making. I'm a content creator. I'm the program director of WPSC FM, Brave New Radio. And yeah, like I said, media mogul in the making. In all aspects, just aspiring to grow in all aspects of media and in the arts and entertainment.
Fantastic, Vaughn. And Tyler, I'd like you to introduce yourself as well.
All right, I'm Tyler Gentry, currently now an author. I am a senior at Bordentown Regional High School, aspiring A&R, and a soon-to-be Syracuse student for the Bandier program. And also am a partner of Vont with the many projects that we do.
Yeah, I forgot to mention I have a company. Hey, I'm the founder of Vont Leak Studios. So yeah. That falls under, but that's still significant to mention. So yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I'm stoked. Vaughn, you didn't give a shout out as to where you're going to school.
Oh yeah, I go to there you go, William Patterson University. I'm a rising junior at William Patterson University.
Mm-hmm. Now, besides being friends and working together.
Hold on. We're not friends.
What?
We're not. I call him an acquaintance, I would say. No, I'm kidding. No, that's my guy.
Absolutely, without a doubt. So you guys not only are your friends, but you're also have mutual interests as far as the industry in which you both are in and aspire to grow in. Can you talk about how your friendship has transcended that as well?
Here we go. Yeah. I think Tyler and I. So the way Tyler and I met initially was our parents linked us up with one another, and I had brought him to WIMG, and then eventually me and him kind of our friendship transcended into not only friendship but a partnership. You know, I started like, it'd be cool if you could do this, that, and the third. I don't have a lot of friends, so Tyler is one of the few. Congratulations, and I'm sorry at the same time. And I would like to say I took him under my wing, but he is very much so like just went on and done amazing. I could never write a book. Tyler went and wrote a book, but it's transcended into something great. Tyler and I think, work very well with one another, kind of understand each other's creative processes. And I know we'll talk about this in a little bit, but that helps us as partners in my company and just creating amazing projects, but products of work together.
Yeah, basically everything what Vaughn said. Like since we've met, we've kind of worked on a lot of things together and we have created a lot of things together. I see him as not only my friend, but in some ways a mentor. Like, you know, if there's anything that I would have to ask him about the business, like he's one of the first people like I would text. He's like one of the most reliable people I know. And he's like one of the most dedicated people I know too. He's just always working, and that helps motivate me as well, knowing that there's someone out there also trying to work towards their goal. So he's definitely not only a friend, but a person that really helps, I guess, inspire my projects, and we both kind of work off of each other's energy.
And I think that one of the amazing things about Tyler and I is like when you and I first met, I brought you to WIMG because I thought that you were trying to do literally exactly what I'm doing, you know, doing media personality, radio and stuff like that. And then I found out that wasn't your lane, but you and I, after having more conversations and going out to lunch, you remember we went to Chick-fil-A and got the whole meal free?
Yeah.
Remember that? We kind of figured out where you and I fell and what it is that we wanted to do. And I think that I'm not accidentally, but like just mistakenly fell good together. You know, I've wanted to create projects for so long, but I'm good with, I guess, uh coming up with ideas, but not putting them down on paper. You are a writer. And that's how we built the show that we did last summer, Late in Color. And then you, like you just said, I'm a very dedicated person. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. That kind of transcended into you writing your book, you know, because you were like, maybe, and you had these poems here, that, and the third. We did the poetry slam, and then I was like, yo, you should do this. And then I pushed you amongst other people, and then the book came about. So I think different pieces of everything that you and I do personally just work well together, whether it's intentional or not. And I think that's what makes us, other than the fact that you and I are friends, that makes us work well together.
Dynamic duo.
Yeah, indeed. And Vaughn, I want you to come back in because I want you to zero in on the idea of who has been there for you. You know, in addition to, you know, you sharing what you've done for Tyler, I'm sure there's some mutual aspirations and things that you learned from him as well. But who else has been there to help you also?
You setting me up to say you.
Well, I'm sure there's more than just me.
Yeah, I mean, you are one. Yes, yes. No, yeah, and this is something like I don't want to keep making it seem like I'm like this, like Tyler just looks up to me like I'm his god or whatever. But like I've always had people who, you are one, who I've looked up to and have gotten me to the places I am now, or have given me the knowledge to get to where I am now. Yes, I said you are one of them. You taught me more about civic engagement. You taught me more about radio and kind of got me to where I am today. Joe Halsey, who is he's a teacher of mine, a mentor. He is the founder of the James R. Halsey Foundation of the Arts here in Trenton, New Jersey. He's one of them. Joshua Meekins, who I interviewed on Trenton 365 a couple years ago. He's a producer of Mike J Films. Nick Gomez, he is a radio personality on Z100, which is New York's #1 hit music station. So I have a bunch of like hats. Will Foskey, I know you as a friend of yours, a friend of the show. He's another one. So I've had a lot of great people who have shown me I'm not even gonna say, not barely, excuse me, like just the tip of the iceberg of the ropes, you know, and have so much more to teach me. And it would just be an injustice for me to have all those people and all that knowledge and not pass it on to somebody. And since day one, I've always looked at Tyler as a little me, you know, and in terms of like wanting to go out and do things. Definitely a lot smarter. I don't know if he's more handsome than me or not, but that's up for debate.
Yeah, well, it seems like you're on that path with the personality portion of it. So that's fantastic, Vont and Leak. You know, I wanted to make sure that in addition to, you know, giving you guys, you know, shine for what you're doing, I want you to use this opportunity to also talk to folks about what's really going on in your worlds. You know, you folks are the ones that everybody wants to talk to. You know, where all the advertising and marketing campaigns are pushed towards. So with that being said, what's going on individually in your own spaces, like in your own worlds? Tyler, I'd like for you to go first as a high school senior, and then Vaughn finish up as a rising junior in college.
Well, as a high school senior, things have been very different, I would say, with COVID and the CDC guidelines. Half of the school is either in class, and then the other half is virtual. And so it's kind of hard to really connect with all the kids from your grade, especially in your senior year. You're trying to make those strengthen those bonds for the last time before you guys all go off to college. So it's been kind of difficult, really connecting with everyone inside the school, with all the events canceled, not being able to see each other's faces besides just staring at a screen. So it's made not only engaging with the people in the school, but also engaging in classes and all the other events just not as entertaining and as meaningful as they used to be. I found myself at prom the other week, like when we were doing prom king and prom queen, like not as invested as much because it's like I haven't seen these people in like months. Like so it's like it doesn't really feel as impactful to see these people up here again. But however, Corona has allowed me to work on a lot more things. I've been able to work on my hobbies more, such as the book, which we'll probably talk about in a little bit later, as the book, to start studying more into the music business, and just allow me to really start to work towards my career outside of high school, and beyond.
Great. And Vont?
I think I'm in a weird phase right now where, because I started college in summer 2019, and then come spring 2019 or spring 20 is when COVID came about. So I think in terms of finding my footing as to school and kind of like you know, when you go to college, you try to like find yourself and figure out what it is that you want to do. That all went on pause. I was just starting to figure that out, and then that all got put on pause. But similar to Tyler, I feel like COVID allowed me to focus on that a little bit more, you know. And I don't want to say like COVID was great for me, because obviously the COVID wasn't amazing or ideal for anybody, but like we did, like being in COVID, like we were all watching shows, we were all watching movies, and that kind of pushed me to be like, yo, I kind of want to do this. Tyler and I, amongst and other people on my Vont League Studios team, we produced a 29 episode web series, and we did that throughout COVID safely, and I think that was amazing. Tyler and I, we wrote a project that we're working on over the summer as well, you know. So now that things are starting to open up and lighten up, it's kind of like trying to fall back into that, you know. And then now that I'm in a different position than I was prior to COVID, it's like, okay, let's adapt. And I think that's what everybody's trying to do now. It's trying to adapt and get back to quote unquote normal, or I guess the new normal per se. I'm in different positions than now than I was then. So it's trying to adapt to those positions, but then also like how to come back from them after COVID, you know, how to get back to where I was and then proceed with the new changes. So it's an adjustment, and I know for Tyler it definitely will be, because as well, like going to college and then post COVID, it'll be different for everybody at college. I know for the most part I've had just Zoom classes, maybe like one or two in person, so it'll be different. But I'm excited to see the new normal per se.
Now, pivoting to the social justice and equality, from your standpoint, besides talking about the high visibility issues and things that are taking place, just like on your college and high school campuses, what seems to be the mindset or the sentiment about social justice and equality?
I can go first if you want me to. So with Bordentown, the high school has kind of started taking initiative. I was a part of a new group called Student Voices, which was a group originally created as a counseling group for kids who have faced racial injustice, and just a place so they can talk about the injustices going on in America that they feel like they need to really, I guess, vent about, or just talk to someone without feeling like they'll like offend somebody or like do something wrong. So that kind of led to our school having a Black History Month event, where all the kids from the group, which I was invited to help with, we created these like Google slideshows and invited all of the school and all the staff members to come and teach them about Black history, and give them more information on Black culture as well. Right now, we're currently working on doing the same thing for the LGBTQ community in Pride Month, which I'm pretty sure it's in June, right? Yeah, I was in June.
Yep.
I think so, yeah. So we're working to get that out soon before the school year ends. And I'm hoping that the group continues to grow without me. But yeah, Bordentown's really trying to take that initiative to, I guess, putting a positive light into social justice.
I think William Patterson is kind of on the same boat. You know, William Patterson is a primarily commuter school, so there has not been a lot of engagement on campus. But we have what I believe is the only, if not one of the only, he is one of, if not the only, openly gay president of a university in the state of New Jersey. So our school is very, I guess woke is the term, very woke and aware of the different diversity groups that happen on campus. My school has a what is it called? It's the Straight Gay Alliance. We have one of those. We have Black cultural groups because it's also considered a PWI, which for those who don't know stands for predominantly white institution. I don't believe that based off of what I see. The school is very diverse, so but we have no problem including different areas of diversity. Civic engagement is also something that I still haven't exactly entirely tapped into. I guess as much as I should, but it definitely is something that is very people are very aware of, and that William Patterson does a great job at priding itself on different civic engagement opportunities. If you do a certain, I know they have a program where, like, if you set up like if you do a certain number of like activities, whether it's collecting trash or like gardening or something like that, then you can, if you do a certain number of them, you can get credits in turn for it, which I think is a great initiative for people who lane civic engagement is. So our school, William Patterson, does a great job at being aware and acknowledging the different social and economic justice issues.
Briefly, politics, not to drill down on any particular party or any particular subject. I mean, I just want to hit this point. You and your peer group, are you actively involved in like voting at the national and local level, sort of, or it's still something that a lot of folks are still not really engaged with?
Funny enough, I just voted for the first time this past presidential election, and it was anticlimactic because it was like COVID, so I just went and put it in the mailbox. It wasn't like I had to do the whole wait in line thing. This last election was definitely an interesting one, so to speak. I'm still, because don't we vote for a new mayor this year in Trenton?
No.
No? Or what about governor? We vote for something in Trenton this year, right?
Yeah,
No?
we'll get
Okay.
we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that.
So
We'll get to that later, but all right, we'll talk later.
Regardless, I
Yeah,
haven't been able to.
Tyler, switch up. Let me mute him. Tyler, I don't know if you're of age yet. If you are, same question, and if not, what is your peer group? Or your friends and your peers like anxious, etc., to go out and vote?
Well, I just recently turned 18 in March. But yeah, the seniors that have graduated, most of them definitely did go out to go vote, and they definitely did encourage each other to vote. I think that was the most interesting thing I seen this election, was that a lot of younger people were using their social media platforms to help encourage others to vote. And I hope that trend continues, because voting is important and is the basis kind of our democracy. So I think that it's definitely a positive thing, and I hopefully it keeps going.
Now, sticking with politics to an extent, the environment. Um, Briefly, whoever wants to jump in first, your thoughts on the environment and what you would like to see us as a society do.
Geez. I mean, so I'm a part of NHS, and in NHS we have members who are very dedicated to, yeah, I guess environmentalists. We're very dedicated to trying to preserve wildlife, and just the environment in general. I can't say I'm too educated on like what's going on with the environment, but I do know that our school definitely does make a in very important thing to try to be involved with the helping the environment on a local level. And if they are very dedicated, they can try to help on a more national level. But our school definitely tries to push that.
Cool, great. Vont?
I'm in the same lane with Tyler. I'm not up to date or kind of in the know with environment. I'd taken environmental science classes, so I know a bit from that. But I hope that with us getting back to some type of normal, a lot of people have been inside, so I hope that stops like littering and like the things that are like harping on like the terrible issues of our our city, because we're just talking about Trenton, but just of the country in general, that's making this ecosystem just a terrible place. You know, I hope that we can all, if there's one thing that we did in COVID, it was kind of came together to stay inside. So I hope that we continue to find like that footing to work together to make the world just a better place in terms of the environment, COVID, you know, safety, whatever it be.
You know, you two both, I know I've told you this both privately and also on the air before, like I admire you both for your dedication, for your skill set, knowing that myself at your age, I think Vont, you were 17 or 16 when I met you, and Tyler, you at 18 now. I know I was not there. And it's very encouraging to me to see young people like yourself who are doing some things that are just amazing that a lot of older folks aren't doing. What would you like to say to, as I like to call us, the prunes? What would you like to say to the prunes out there about whatever you want? Take a couple minutes each.
Geez, I think that I love the fact that from my experience that uh, older people, don't get offended, but older people have um, been very supportive of uh, young people things, especially like when it comes to like family. I've gained like so much support from older people from like any type of project I've done. Whether or not they liked it is not really my concern, but at least like I know that as a community, they definitely come to encourage the younger folk, especially Todd Evans. I would like to give a shout out to. He was one of the people that helped with my poetry, and he kind of helped a lot with the creation of the book. He like loves to push the fact that this younger generation is the future of poetry, and if we want to keep passing down these different legacies, and whether that be music, poetry, television, radio, and film, like we're gonna have to encourage the younger folk and like help support them, because once the older generation is gone, the new generation is gonna take over and keep spreading down that legacy.
Well done, man. I really like how you said that, Tyler. Vaughn?
I think that one thing this generation an advantage they have is the power of technology, the power, how advanced we are in the world. They're firing people at stores to hire robots, to check out and do things like that. So, but because of the power of technology, there's kids that are half of Tyler and I's age who are billionaires and millionaires doing TikTok and YouTube and whatnot, getting movies and TV deals. And even though I'm a little upset because I'm not one of them, we're lucky enough to be able to have, it wasn't one of the first conversations I ever had with DJ Say What, Steve Cook, was like when he wanted to watch a movie back in the day, or he had to go to Blockbuster, get a tape and XYZ, now you can just upload it to YouTube. So I think that for the prunes, encourage us a bit more, or keep on, if you're not already, or if you are already, keep on encouraging us, because there are some people who, they're one-hit wonders, but there are a lot of kids out here with hidden talents and abilities. And if you give us the knowledge that you have, and then you in turn listen to us and the things that we are trying to teach you or just show you, I promise we will hold up this mankind. We will make sure that we make the older generations of prunes and beyond proud.
Thank you. And I have to say that I did not come up with that. Someone else told it to me, and I think it's fitting. And I'm a prune now, so I can actually say that.
What's the cutoff age for a prune?
I don't know, man. I'm going by the way you look, man. I don't know. All right, so check this out. We only got a couple minutes left, but I know we're going to be talking more later. I do want to. I want to make sure that we let folks know that there's a lot more coming down the pike, without going into any detail about any specific thing. Each of you lay out some teasers for folks so that they can stay tuned into Vont Leak and Tyler Gentry.
Vont, I mean, I guess you
Well, I
could say
mean, you could give
yeah.
your book, because your book is like a right as at the moment it's a standalone project, and then everything else that we're going on, well, that's together. So do your book, and then I got the rest.
Yeah, so I recently released a book titled "Good Luck If I Don't Hear From You." I self-published it just the beginning of like the late April, beginning of May, and so hopefully, depending on how well people like it, you may see more, is what I'll say. And of course, me and Vont will always be working on potential projects if Vont wants to get into that.
Yes, sir. First of all, you could check out anything Vont League related, and just about anything Vont League related. For about a year and a half now, involves Tyler Gentry in some way, shape, or form. So VontLeagueStudios.com and YouTube.com/VontLeague is where all of that stuff lives. I am currently the morning show host at WPSC-FM. My morning show got nominated as one of the best college morning shows in the country, Morning Commute, which you can check out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and then listen to it Monday mornings at gobrave.org from 6 to 9 a.m. That's gobrave.org. And then we made a web series last summer, Leighton in Color. That's our youtube.com/Vont League. And then I mentioned earlier, Tyler and I have some other things in the works. I know Tyler and I have had this discussion, but just because you're going to college does not mean anything. We will continue to work together and do some amazing things, bro. And so y'all be ready for some more Vont League and Tyler Gentry. We have, again, just barely begun to scratch the surface with what Tyler and I are capable of. And I'm excited to see what we have coming down in the future. So keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, I absolutely will. Vont League and Tyler Gentry, thank you both for your time today and on the Trenton 365 show. Folks, you've been listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, which is civic engagement radio. You can always reach out to me on social media platforms, #Trenton365, and the website, Jacque-Howard.com. Until we meet again, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.